Welcome to our nightly newsletter, boys and girls. My name is Joseph James with your nightly newsletter for Wednesday evening, February 11th, 2015. And while the rest of the world is talking in hindsight about what happened today, wise professional traders are preparing for new opportunities tomorrow. In tonight's newsletter, crude oil is bearish, just a little bit bearish, nailed all those targets on the way down today, but way oversold. We're most likely going to see crude go higher tomorrow before it returns to its bearish trend. How about gold? Gold is very bearish, very similar to crude. We filled all of our targets on the way down today, but now we're oversold, so expect gold to go higher on Thursday before it goes lower. And of course, the Russell. That mighty mini Russell is trading sideways, but it's trading sideways at the highs of the range, and we're looking to sell at these highs and take it all the way back down to the big round number. Now, before we begin, and we have a jam-packed newsletter in store for you guys tonight, I want to remind you to make sure you're watching this video on our trading blog here at sidewaysmarkets.com. Now, there are 3 reasons why you got to be watching this video right now over on our trading blog. 3 reasons. Now, if you're watching the video on our YouTube page right now, there's a link right below the video. 3 reasons, though. First reason, you can download all of my charts tonight. Every chart I'm going to go over tonight, you can download and use it on your own time tomorrow in your own trading right below that video. Upper left-hand corner, the second thing here, we have a free pass for you. Maybe you're curious what it feels like to be in our trade room. Maybe you're wondering what all the commotion's all about. Maybe you're just wondering, how the heck do we make money off of these levels that we give you guys every evening? Come out and join me in for a free pass. If you're not a member yet of School of Trade, I'd love to welcome you in at your leisure. Third thing, your name and your email address right above my ugly mug to register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. That way you never have to worry about missing another newsletter report ever again. Now, guys, just a reminder, if you grab your free pass or if you register for the newsletter mailing list, I'm going to send you a verification email to make sure that I have the right email address and, of course, for you to give me approval so I can keep sending you email in the future. Alrighty? We got a lot of action going on this week. Gold and crude have been easy sellers. Russell's been a little bit stingy at those highs. Let's jump right in and take a look at what our plan is here going forward. Starting out with the mini Russell here this evening, we can see we continue here, right? We got the first sell off the high earlier this week, another sell today, and boy, oh boy, it just keeps on sticking to this high. Now, I'm going to go ahead and blame it on the big round number at 1,200, and I think you're probably going to continue to get little nibbles to the downside here, hitting that 1,200. So keep an eye on that big round number. If I had to guess right now, though, I would guess that we try to make a run for these highs and then a selling opportunity up at those highs. You know, we basically looked at this as selling the range highs. We tried it again. They keep on, you'll notice, they keep on forcing it up here. So my gut tells me we make a run up before we get a possible sell. We'll see how this plays out for tomorrow. Looking faster time frame, though, this now tells us that we're probably not going to make that move higher until we go lower. Taking a look here at the Russell 16 anchor, and we can easily see here, well, a couple things. First of all, Russell is definitely range bound at these highs. Okay, this is my trading range right now. And so we're right up around these highs, and we have a hard time being a buyer up near these highs, right? I would want to be a buyer down around here to then hit those highs. So we're up towards the highs of the range, and ultimately the only option we really have right now is to be a seller at these highs and take profit at the support zones below it. Now, volume does not confirm the strength for the buyers. Check it out. If you measure your highs to highs, you'll notice, what do you see there? Divergence, right? I'm not a big believer in divergence, you know, regular and hidden divergence, but I am a very big believer that volume confirms the move. So, of course, you see lower volume, higher highs. That doesn't make any sense. It definitely doesn't tell me the bulls are in control right now. So, knowing where we are towards the highs of the range and knowing that the volume does not confirm tells me that we're most likely going to come down before we try to make that run. Again, just the way it looks on that 64 or that 32 anchor, it looks like they're probably going to give it a swing here. You know, you got some higher lows. We saw this channel overshoot, couldn't retest that low. So again, something tells me we're going to pull this together here tomorrow, but I don't see it going higher right now. So wait for it to pull back. Looking to buy that 1200, looking to buy that 97.5, and if I can, the best buy will be down here around that 1191.2 down to 1188.5. So I definitely do expect the volume to tell the story here on the Russell. I do expect us to go lower before we go higher. And then here is another chart, looks very, very similar to it, as you can see. This is the price action chart. Okay, very big difference. This is a tick chart. The last chart was a JJ or a range bar chart. And of course, you've got the Russell price action clearly sideways, but we have a clear short-term bull channel. It's pretty easy to see here. Higher lows, higher highs, relatively easy to see. But then we start to line up some measured moves, A, B, C, D, and we start to realize, okay, we know what's going on here. Not a lot of question marks right now. We got a big wick at the high. If you zoom in closely on this candlestick, you'll notice we couldn't close anywhere near the high of that channel, right? So we basically just wicked through the high and just closed right back down in. Now, again, being at the highs of this trading range, being at the highs of the channel, being at the completion of the measured move, big round number of 1200 is down below us. All of this now tells us, not to mention the volume confirmation we saw on the last chart here for the Russell, I just don't see this going higher before it goes lower. So our best option, really our only option at these highs, is to sell the highs. Okay, take profit down at the targets that we have listed below. Now remember what I've always said. There are two ways to buy or sell. There are two ways to sell. How can I sell? Well, first of all, I could wait for it to make the turn and then sell, sell, sell on the way down, but I'm going to miss out on a big chunk of that move if I wait for it to turn around. In my opinion, the best way to sell is to watch for the buyers on a pullback to try and whoops and fail, right? Because remember, we take our time getting into trades, we rush out of trades, whether it be for a loss or for a win. We take our time getting in, we stay patient getting in, but when we get stopped out, when we realize we're wrong, see ya, get me out of this position. And that's why it's much faster profit to wait for these basically uneducated buyers to try and fail. So my best bet right now is be careful buying right now. I would be definitely looking for failed buy attempts. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, what a failed buy attempt is, just come out and see me tomorrow. I'll walk you right through it all. And remember, you guys don't need to do this on your own. So we'll be trading the Russell in real time tomorrow. We'll be sure to show you what we're talking about when it comes to those failures to the buy side. Let's keep moving. Gold. Gold is bearish. We filled all those targets on the way down. I mean, gold has been so good to us the last 6 months. And of course, now we're well oversold. So we do expect this move to go higher before it returns to its downward trend. Here's a couple clues that we see on this. First of all, the major clue that I see here is this big channel. Now, what do you see with this channel? Overshoot, right? We overshoot the lows. Okay, an overshoot of the lows, think of it this way. Human beings love to overcompensate, right? That's what we're all about. You know, we fill our face with ice cream and cookies for 3 weeks, and then we decide we're going to starve ourselves for 3 weeks to lose the weight, right? We don't do anything for a while, and then we try to do triple to make up for it. That's just the way that human beings act. And of course, the markets we trade, guys, they're not just a computer screen. They're a group of people. It's a symphony orchestra of people where everyone has a different instrument in a different room without a single conductor. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. But that crowd psychology, and again, we do a lot of work here at School of Trade regarding psychology, but that crowd psychology says we're probably going to get a large correction. Okay? Why? Well, you're going to have bargain hunters that see this low price. You're going to have profit taking. Okay, I know I took my profit all the way down, right? So we take our profit, we cover our short positions, that fires off buy positions, and this price will go higher. So bargain hunters, profit takers, and of course speculators will likely be buying this. We may go as low as that 1214.8, right? That final extension target. This is the only target from last night's newsletter that we didn't get. We had a couple more earlier on here. So bottom line is, though, we have an overshoot on the channel. That's the first reason why I think price will go higher before it goes lower. We also have A to B, C to D, and you can see we've even overshot the AB equals CD measured move. So we're well oversold. Then the final nail in the coffin. Mark up the lows, mark up the highs, and what do you see? I see, of course, higher volume as we go lower. This tells us that we are definitely sticking to the downside, but we have that lower low, overshoot, again, expect the correction. So we're still to the downside. We're not seeing any lack of volume at those lows, but definitely expect this price to go a little bit higher before it comes back down. So as it goes up, I'm looking to sell here at these resistance areas overhead. Stay to the short side right now. The volume confirms we are still bears here on the gold. Moving on here from the 32 to the 16. Again, a lot of the same stuff here right now. We are way oversold at these lows, which tells us to wait for a retracement off these lows before we start selling again. Now, our final target, we have a range expansion target, and we have the big round number target at 1200. So you got some big, fat, juicy targets waiting for you right now, right? If you took this trading range, projected it out here, right, there's your range target. And then, of course, your big round number target, 1200, is a pretty big, important big round number. So again, knowing that we have this this overshoot on the longer term, knowing that we have the ABCD, and knowing that we made such a tremendous move lower here, most likely going to go higher before we go lower. So once again, I'm looking to sell short. I've got sell zones overhead. I got a bunch of little guys in here. We'll be looking for price to reverse off of as it goes higher, but stay focused on those red rectangles, those red sell zones for your best opportunities here to get short. My gut tells me by the end of this month, we're going to be down around that 1200. It's just a matter of how we get there right now on the gold. And of course, last but not least, on the gold price action, gold is bearish, well oversold. You can see the bear channel. We've been grinding lower here. Now, in this chart, you really could be a buyer right now the way this looks, right? I mean, it's oversold here all the way down to the lows of this bear channel. We haven't been anywhere near these highs at all, so we're most likely going to, at very least, get up to that high before it comes back down, up to that level of resistance before it comes back down, up to that level of resistance before it comes back down, and our target's going to be right back where this move started. So up we go, and then on the way down. All right, guys? So again, stay focused on the downside there on gold and keep on selling it at those levels of resistance. Now, we get a really ugly picture here on crude right now. Starting out or finishing up here on the crude oil futures, crude is definitely bearish. But you'll notice here, in the long term, we're right smack in the middle of that megaphone. Remember what I told you guys earlier? These megaphones are easy money. Just wait for price to go up and sell it. wait for price to go down and buy it. But here is el problema numero uno. We are right in the middle. Not good. This is going to be some of the most choppy, sloppy price action you're going to see this month. I can pretty much guarantee it. And just to put a cherry on top, we got basically the little brother of the $100 big round number. We have Mr. $50 a barrel. So if I had to guess right now, I would guess we go range bound the rest of the week. But I don't trust my guesses. I'm going to trust the chart. But just knowing where we are, though, and knowing that we heard some. It was one of the oil ministers from Kuwait today that said, all these smaller OPEC nations keep coming on the microphone trying to pump fear into the market, and he said we may go as high as 60. And I looked at my chart and I said, well, good, because I'll gladly sell it right at 60 and bring it right back down. And I'm telling you right now, they are trying as hard as they can, but this thing is not budging. So, I don't see any reason why we can't go lower from here or higher. We're right in the middle of that range right now. So we need a little bit more clues. But I'm telling you right now, though, be aware we are right smack in the middle of that range. And the middle of the ranges are always going to take some patience to wait and see what happens next. So here's a really good example of why I say my gut tells me we're probably going to go sideways here. Look at this chart. This is not a very easy chart. This one, I kind of sat here scratching my head for a while, and I said, well, we don't really have a measured move down. I mean, we do a little bit, but not very much. We had a channel here, but, channel was broken. Okay, we'll probably retest those lows eventually. Right, but I mean, heck, guys, we came all the way off that 54. I mean, we've done $6 down here this week so far. Can't keep up forever. I don't want to think like a gambler here, but my instincts tell me here we go higher before we go lower on this one. Just again, being around that $50 a barrel area, there's going to be some magnets pushing price back to it. So, bottom line right now is I don't have much of a strong opinion as far as the short term goes, but I do know right now, though, that we are still bearish here, and so I'll look for a sell up there at 51. If we do go higher than that, I'll look for another sell here. I don't think we go that high tomorrow, but again, I would love to see this price ABCD before it goes lower, right? So we're going to continue here on the crude, looking for selling opportunities at the overhead resistance areas right above us. So we've had a great run this week to the short side. It looks like we're likely going to see the correction on Thursday before we get the next push lower. And then, of course, we go to our 16. This one really tells us where to expect this move to happen, right? This definitely tells us this. So on this chart, now we start to see a little bit more proof of the volume at the bottom, right? So you'll notice here, we got our long-term bear channel. We've broken that channel. We couldn't retest the lows. That's a big clue. We draw the trend line here, project it out. A to B, C to D, puts us right about this area right here, and this is exactly where I'd expect us to be going tomorrow in this area here. So again, I was kind of speculating 51, but it looks like it could be as high as 52. Again, these areas right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for price to get up there, and then again, wait for those poor sucker buyers to keep trying, and when they fail, that's going to be your easy money coming down off the highs of this short-term bull channel, and of course, up at resistance zones overhead. This is a great example of how we look at this long-term move. This is the time when people are going to start to overthink this. Give the trend the benefit of the doubt. Okay, that's one of the things I always kind of say over and over again is right now, we simply have a break of that channel. We're consolidating here. Again, we should be going lower here, right? We should be going lower, but look down at the bottom here. Look at the volume. We are not seeing a very strong volume confirmation right now. So volume does not confirm. Basically, what we see with this is an undershoot at the channel low. That undershoot kind of the opposite of an overshoot, right? The undershoot basically tells me the sellers are weak. We confirm that with volume. We can guarantee the sellers were weak. So most likely that move lower was just exhausted. We break. Usually when we see stuff like this happen, we're going to get that A, B, C, D back up. So do expect price to go higher here overnight. And then you know me, I'll be looking for those buyers to fail so I can sell it right back down tomorrow morning, mid to late morning tomorrow morning. Oh, sorry about that. Wrong chart. Last but not least, let's grab some price action here on the crude oil. So crude is long-term bearish. Okay, here's a price action chart. Little bit of a different way of looking at this market. We're expecting price to try to break above the 50 before tomorrow's opening bell, and then we will be watching closely for a failure at 50 and a return back to those lows. So follow the bouncing ball once again. We have our bearish channel. We get the break. We called this reversal in the trade room today. It was beautiful. And then we see the channel. We see, of course, that new short-term channel, a very, very well-defined channel there. We break, and we know that we're probably going to retest that high right here, right at the 50. Okay? Notice the fake break at the lows, right? Sellers tried right there, and they got smoked. So sellers got their heads taken off right there trying to revisit those lows again. That just goes to tell me here we are most likely here going to end up back at the very least at 50. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for price to get up to this 50 area, and then I'm going to look for the failure to sell it back down. If we don't get the failure, though, we will most likely continue to go higher here tomorrow. Again, that volume on that last chart, remember the volume did not confirm this move lower. So that's why I'm saying be prepared for price to go higher in the short term tomorrow. And then again, we'll be watching up around 50 to see if we collapse from there, right? Go up, look for the buyers to keep trying. When they fail, we'll sell it. But if we don't see those buyers fail, if they just torch right through this thing, then we know where we have targets waiting for us above. And remember, at each of these targets, I will be looking for those buyers to fail so I can return back to that long-term trend. Little bit confusing on this crude tonight. As you can see, it's not the easiest chart we've seen all week. So stay patient tomorrow, and don't forget, you're not alone out there. We're always here to help you guys through these complicated trading days. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a day of profit taking if I have my way, or if I'm accurate on my assumption here. Had big moves down on gold, big moves down on crude. The Russell has been stingy up at those highs. So again, come out and see me tomorrow. We'll walk you right through all this in real time. And before I let you guys go, I want to remind you guys here, don't forget to download today's charts. Don't forget to grab your free pass, register for our newsletter mailing list, and if you happen to stumble over here to SchoolOfTrade.com, just a reminder, we have the best free trial in the business. I will put my money where my mouth is. Grab the free trial, register for the free trial. You're going to learn more with me in 1 week than you've learned in any other expensive trading website on the web. We offer 3 levels of membership, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and we always have someone standing by 24/7 to help you guys out. Once again, my name is Joseph. Shall we do it again tomorrow? Same time? Yeah, same place? You got it, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday evening. We'll see you guys back here for a final Thursday edition of our newsletter tomorrow. Be well, be nice to each other, and make sure you're on the right side of the market. We'll see you guys tomorrow. My name is Joseph. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.